Hello everyone and welcome back to Riverbend Springs. Now last time we were deciding on whether to do some contracts today or if we should go ahead with some more work in the woods. Get those logs collected and sorted. And I think we'll do a bit of both. So we have our combine already here, just gave it a quick service, as we have accepted a contract from our buddy David. So David owns the field across the road from our farm. And as you can see on the forecast, we have some hail coming later in the afternoon, as well as some rain. So we are gonna go ahead and get the field harvested for him. So yes, it's a field of wheat. Now we need to be careful crossing the road here. There we go. We'll get the combine unfolded. Traffic will have to wait a bit. So I thought this would be a good chance to get our combine fired up before our harvest starts. Yes, get it into peak working condition. So we'll quickly go ahead and get this field all harvested, and I will see you then. go, and that's the field all harvested. David will be happy. One less field to worry about before the storm hits. He is obviously stretched thin, trying to get the rest of his fields harvested up. So since this field is just across the road from us, we said we could help him out with that. So yes, good news is our harvester is in perfect working order. Just need a bit of diesel before our soybean harvest and we'll be all set. So that is great news. Now we will just get it parked up. Then we can take the rest of the wheat to the sell point. Then we can get some more planks to Grandpa Walter's shed here. Yes, construction is on pause until we get that done. And then we can head on into the woods and get some work done over there as well. There we go. Contract all finished up. We have delivered the planks to Grandpa Walter. And next up is heading into the woods. Now we got enough for the contract to cover the repairs on the combine, as well as some extra on top of that. So yes, very good work today. Which means we can afford to spend our day in the woods, mucking about. But in the end, it's to make some profits as well. So we'll have to grab our weights and our log wrap as well. Now we can hitch up to our log trailer and get going. Alright, here we are as it begins to hail. Now I've moved our winch out of the way a bit, as well as the trailer. So trying to decide what we want to do here. So I think we'll keep these stacks growing a bit. We can add some more logs over here, and then we can add to this second one. Then we can make a third over this way. And I think we might have to cut some of these trees up here down, just so we can maneuver past. But we will see. So, as the hail is quite loud, I think it's time to just switch over to time-lapse, get this done. So, I will see you then. we go. Got that big pile all sorted into our organized piles over here. Now we are just gonna load up a trailer load to take back with us to the farm. But yes, this is looking quite good. And we still have quite a few ravaged trees yet to cut down. So yes, this will take quite a while to mill. But for now we can go ahead, get some of these cut into halves, load onto our trailer, and then it's back to the farm. So I will see you then. Here we are back at our farm, just dropping off the load of logs. Now looks like Grandpa Walter's been busy today. He's got our roof on his shed. Looking quite good. Now that would have protected from the hail. It is late in the day, so we'll get our weight dropped off as well as our log wrap, and then it is time to get the tractor parked up and call it a day. Quite a good day today, despite having that hailstorm and the rain come through. Got a field harvested for our neighbor David, who is in a bit of a pickle with the coming weather. We also got that pile of logs sorted. Been dreading that for a while, as that was quite the task. But that's it for today. If you have any tips, tricks, suggestions, leave them down in the comments. Leave a like if you liked this episode. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next one.